Hi, this is Dirty Newbie with Conspiracy Concepts. Today's show is Christian Identity, the Post-Victorian Era. This is part two to my last episode. Today's important figures are Charles Adele Totten, William Pascoe Gord, Howard Rand, Reuben Sawyer, and Princess Alice of Athlone again. So, Charles Adele Totten was born February 3rd, 1851, died April 12th, 1908. His father was a brigadier general in the Missouri militia on the side of the North in the American Civil War. He would have been 10 years old, early teenager during the Civil War. Totten taught military science and tactics at Massachusetts Agricultural College and later at Yale University. He introduced the concept of wargaming, and after resigning in 1893, he wrote on biblical matters, the Great Pyramid, British Israelism, and the symbolism behind the Great Seal of the United States. He wrote 180 books and articles. The main series was Our Race, Defending British Israelism, and he directly influenced Howard Rand. Um, he a lot of the concepts that come from him are still prevalent in the militia movements today, and even some of the fringier online movements with the sovereign citizenship and some of the stuff that was promoted by like Jordan Maxwell and the naval terminology. But it's kind of like the fringe paramilitary groups started with all this. And also the Angloization of the education of the officer class of America. Um, he's largely responsible for this post-war. It explains a lot about where America is today and just how Anglo it is. So now we're going to move on to the British Israelite World Federation Conference of 1920. So the British Israelism World Federation was founded in 1919 in London. The prominent patron was Princess Alice, Countess of Athlone. The purpose was to organize the BIWF groups across the world, specifically in North America. Notable attendees were Princess Alice, William Pascal Gord, and Reuben Sawyer. And this was for the social climbers and to organize the leadership of all the groups, to synchronize their message, and yeah, to make moves in America. The royal family funded Christian identists in America to control the discourse in conservative political groups. This helped sway the American entry into World War II and just shape its foreign policy to a more pro-British stance. So now we're going to move on to William Pascal Gord. He was born January 17th, 1863, died February 9th, 1937. He was a Methodist minister. He studied law in London, and then he moved to Ontario in 1880 at 17 years old. He was a member of the Salvation Army. All these guys are very Protestant. 1909 organized the British Israelites of Vancouver. 1913 negotiated merging several British Israelite groups. Became vice president of British Israelite World Federation in 1921, shortly after the conference, and founded Covenant Publishing, which Howard Rand is also connected to. Howard Rand was born June 13th, 1889. All these guys are about 10 to 15 years apart from each other, so you can see who's influencing who. And then he died October 17th, 1991. He was a successful lawyer who started as a construction worker. He was an inventor and a three-time Prohibition Party candidate. So he was, for the time period, a conservative party member. 1937 to 1968, he was editor of Destiny Publishers. I believe that was here in Oklahoma. He was an expert on pyramidology, just like his predecessor, well, just like Totten was, a major influence on American British Israelism, or now Christian identity. Howard Rand is considered to be the actual founder of Christian identity because he distinguished ethnic Jews as descending from Esau. He did not claim they were satanic and tried to downplay any interpretation of anti-Semitism. Howard Rand considered himself to be a pacifist Christian, first and foremost. Reuben Sawyer, born 1866, would have been a peer to Howard Rand. Died in 1962. He was KKK Oregon leader, 1921 to 1924. And after attending the BIWF 1921 London conference, he was heavily promoted throughout the movement on a speaking tour in 1921. He was most notable for writing for the Dearborn Press for Henry Ford. His series was called The International Jew. He had a anti-Bolshevik stance, which is also pretty pro-British. And his contemporary Rand, that was hardline anti-Semitic post-BIWF conference in 1920. So Howard Rand really just says the Jews are separate from the Anglos. Reuben Sawyer says they're the spawn of Satan. Key difference. So now I want to bring it back to the main patron of British Israelism, which is Princess Alice of Athlone. She was the viceregal of Canada from 1940 to 1946. She had 3 children. She promoted contraceptives and family planning. She held the Malthusian Ball to help fundraise for the birth control movement. Her husband was governor of South Africa from 1924 to 1930. After the rebranding of Christian identity, that's where she went. She's heavily influential throughout the British Empire. Hence her interest in British Israelism. 6 months after the outbreak of World War II, her husband, Lord Tweedsmuir, dies of a severe head injury caused by a stroke, and she fills in for his position. And Princess Athlone becomes Governor General in Canada for the duration of World War II. And this plays into her influencing American conservative political organizations to garner support for World War II. And thank you guys for watching. In part 3, we're going to cover William Potter Gale, Wesley Swift, Richard Butler, and also William Dudley Pele, the Silver Shirts, the Monson's Bible College, and then a more recent Princess Anne tangent. More recent meaning 1980s, 1990s.